Good morning and welcome to the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, the largest museum in the world dedicated to the arts, sciences, and artists of filmmaking. The Academy Museum of Motion Pictures acknowledges the Tongva people as the traditional caretakers of the water and land on which we program, curate, educate, convene, and discuss. We honor and respect Tongva ancestors and the Tongva community today, which continue to nurture this land and water through traditional practice, activism, art, and education. We also acknowledge their continued work to safeguard cultural resources. My name is Amy Homa, and I'm the Director and President of the Academy Museum. Thank you all for joining us this morning in our David Geffen Theater for our makeup and hairstyling conversation. Round of applause for all of these amazing nominees. Presented as part of our Oscar nominee spotlights, it's wonderful to see you all here today. A brief thank you to our supporters. Oscar nominee spotlights are made possible by the Ruderman Family Foundation. Oscar nominee spotlights are also presented thanks to Afila, did you all see that fun car outside? By Sony Honda Mobility. Additional support is provided by Clarendale and Domaine Clarence Dillon and Champagne Lallier. Today's makeup and hairstyling program caps off a series of 10 panels and 2 lobby activations that have taken place throughout this past week, where we have welcomed over 8,000 visitors to celebrate this year's films and nominees. If you haven't had a chance to see the incredible activation downstairs in our lobby, I encourage you to do so before 3 p.m. when it all closes up. I want to be sure to thank the many teams and colleagues who have worked to make this Oscar season at the museum possible and such a success. Our facilities and security teams, our theater operations and our projectionists, visitor experience, events, education, film programs, so many more of our colleagues, thank you all. And I also want to give an enormous thanks to our ASL interpreters who will be assisting today. Their names are Andrea Lust, Ajumu Brown, and Karina Gracia. Yes, thank you. This has also been a true partnership and collaboration with the Member Relations and Awards Administration team. Thank you all. But the fun is not over. Please tune in tomorrow for the 97th Oscars. They will be held at the Dolby Theater at Ovation Hollywood and will be televised live on ABC and streamed for the first time live on Hulu. And beginning on March 9th, please join us back at the museum for screenings of a selections of this year's winners. Check us out at academymuseum.org for ticket information. Before we begin, please silence, darken, and stow your mobile devices, including phones and smartwatches. And now please help me welcome to the stage Michael Benedict, Director of Member Relations and Awards Administration at the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences, who will share more information about the Academy nomination process.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Oscar season Makeup and Hairstyling Nominee Spotlights program. My name is Michael Benedict, and I am the Director and Liaison of the Makeup Artist and Hairstylist branch and category. I want to thank everyone here in attendance at the Academy Museum's David Geffen Theater and those watching virtually. As Amy said, this is the 10th and final Nominee Spotlights program celebrating Oscar seasons this year. As we wrap up this season, I want to thank all the staff behind the scenes for making these events happen all week. None of this is possible without you, from the projectionist up in the booth, to the production team led by Silver and Christina, the theater staff outside, to my fellow membership and awards department colleagues. Some of you are in the audience. Thank you for everything you do around. We truly, truly appreciate it. But I want to pause and give a very special thank you to my partners in crime, Lauren McPhee and Billy McClellan. Thank you for putting up with me. You know I can't do this alone. Today is actually Lauren's birthday, and watching virtually, so very happy birthday, Lauren. We appreciate you so, so much. Today we are also celebrating the 5 nominated films in the makeup and hairstyling category. But how we got to the 5 nominees takes months. That includes several meetings throughout the year, both with the full makeup and hairstylist branch and the branch executive committee. When selecting the winner, all voting Academy members may vote by choosing one of the nominated films on their ballot. Voting closed last Tuesday, and we will find out which one of these 5 films will take home the Oscar tomorrow. Alrighty, I would like to introduce the Makeup and Hairstyling Branch governors, who will also be your moderators for the event. I work with the governors on all things Academy business, and I have to say, I got really lucky with these 3. They are so dedicated and care so deeply about their craft and fellow members. I want to just tell you a little bit about each one of them because they're kind of talented. First up is the newest Academy governor, Jerry Quist. Good, Jerry. Jerry has been a makeup artist in the motion picture industry for over 40 years. His film credits include Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, Mr. Holland's Opus, Tropic Thunder, Drive, and The Sixth Sense. He's received 5 Primetime Emmy Awards and 17 Emmy nominations. Jerry has jumped into governance with full gusto, and we are excited to have him here moderating for the first time. Since he lived in the world of Star Trek for so long, Jerry, we hope you live long and prosper. Good, Jerry. Next is Linda Flowers. Linda is serving her 5th year as governor and is this year's branch vice chair. She's an accomplished hair designer whose credits include The Deliverance, The Social Network, There Will Be Blood, The Hunger Games, and a small, tiny movie you've probably never heard of called Spider-Man: No Way Home. Linda is one of the best in the business, but she is also so caring and has such a warm presence whenever she's around. If she's not on set, you'll find her at the dog beach with her amazing dog, Ronan. Thank you for all you do, Linda. We truly appreciate your leadership. Thank you. And finally, this year's branch chair, Howard Berger. So Howard won an Oscar for his makeup work on The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and also was nominated for the film Hitchcock. Some of his other credits include Kill Bill 1 and 2, Lone Survivor, and From Dusk Till Dawn. He's also the author of the book, Masters of Makeup Effects. It might be in the gift shop if you're interested. On a personal note, this is also Howard's last year as governor before he goes on a hiatus. In the last few years, Howard has shown such grace and guidance as an Academy governor. I can't express how much dedication and care he has put into his work. He is one of the hardest working people in the business, and most importantly, just a wonderful, decent human being. Howard, we thank you for 6 years of incredible leadership, and we hope to continue working later. So, without further ado, please welcome to the stage your moderators, Governor Jerry Quist, Vice Chair Linda Flowers, and your chair, Howard Berger.
I was unclear that this is my last year, so I'm glad I know. It'd be weird to show up to the meeting, and so, hey everybody. Here we are. Thanks for coming. This is going to be fantastic. I want to welcome all of you to the Makeup and Hairstyling Symposium, and welcome to this magnificent Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. It's quite amazing. It's a fantastic place, and the ticket you have today will get you can tour this whole museum, so I highly recommend it. It's fantastic and some incredible things, and there's always something new happening here. It's a perfect venue to celebrate the Oscars and all our nominees today. I'm Howard Berger. I'm the chair this year. With us is Linda Flowers right here, who's vice chair, and then Jerry Quist, our 3rd governor. Yay, yay, yay. And I wanted to also thank our president, Janet Yang, our Academy CEO, Bill Kramer, and the president and director of the Academy Museum, Amy Homer, who has been incredible for helping orchestrate Oscar Week here at the museum. I also want to thank Mariko Yashimaru Rank, Christina Ybarra, Billy McKellen, birthday girl Lauren McPhee, and of course our honorary 4th governor, Michael, who you just saw. Your tireless efforts and hours upon hours of hard work and dedication you put into the branch. It just makes it seem like it's easy, but we know it is not easy on any level. So thank you so much. And I know Michael thanked the projectionists. This wouldn't happen either without the projectionists, especially since my brother Bradley is the projectionist. So I'm very, very proud of him up there in the booth, and good job, Brad. All right, so what I want to do is I want to explain a little bit about how we come up with the movies nominated, okay? Because it's actually a really thorough investigation and everything. So we meet throughout the year to discuss the films released, and we talk about the strong makeups and hairstyles in these films. We have an October meeting where we encourage our members to see the films, and then we are able to judge the work by seeing it, which is the way we need to see it. You know, you can look at stuff on social media, you can do this or that. It all has to be about seeing it in the theater. That way you experience it the way it's supposed to be seen and the way the filmmaker has intended it for you to see it. When we review each potential film, we look at what the classification of what we're considering this film to be, and there's several, okay? So the film can be recognized for these things. One is makeup for the film as a whole, hairstyling for the film as a whole, makeup and hairstyling for the film as a whole, makeup for a specific character or characters, hairstyling for a specific character or characters, makeup and hair for a specific character or characters. That's a lot of stuff, huh? So yeah, so we figure it all out. This is what happens. This is how thorough we are. We just don't like randomly pick. It's a lot of discussion. Then we have a November meeting. And at that November meeting, we start to narrow down the list to consider, you know, what we're looking at. Then we have our final meeting, which is in December, and we hold our final meeting at the end of the year, and we democratically vote to determine what those 10 films that will be shortlisted and advance to the Makeup and Hairstyling Bake-Off. And the bake-off, nobody has to bake anything. They just, you know, we end up voting, and it's these 10 movies, so it's very exciting. But sometimes our past governor, Lois Burwell, she bakes stuff, so that's good. Following that meeting, the executive committee meets, and this is where we discuss and determine which artists will be on each ticket. The category rules allow for a maximum of 3 individuals nominees per film. We spend considerable time and make the final decision. So so it's not taken lightly. We really, really go over things. It's crazy. We ask everybody to submit letters, and we reference and constantly connect the dots, and it's an arduous meeting, and it goes on for hours and hours and hours. So based on that, those are the people that will then move on to the bake-off. In January, we hold our Makeup and Hairstyling Bake-Off, where the artists from the 10 shortlisted films are engaged in conversation about their work, accompanied by a 7-minute reel from the film being considered. So it's a reel that's all cut together in sequence, no special digital fades or anything like that, or sound changes. It's raw. It's this way we've seen it in the film, and that's how it should be judged. At that time, members of the makeup artist and hairstyling branch vote online to determine the nominations. The 5 nominated films are then revealed to the world. At the same time, all other categories are announced. So when you see like, hey, here's all the ones, so they're all there, be it best film, be it actor, be it director, and of course the most important, makeup and hair. Today, we're gonna be meeting with this year's nominees from the 5 outstanding films, and the films we'll be looking at today are A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. Ooh, those are good lineup. So we have a great presentation for you today. Each of these films have earned the right to be nominated as the work is truly an achievement in excellence, which is, of course, what our branch members look forward to. You know, it's all about, we take a look at it and go, could this movie be made without the makeup and hair? That is a very large criteria. You know, it could be like, oh, that was nice makeup, or yeah, the hair looked great in that, but this film couldn't happen without those elements, and it's a very important element. Same as any aspect, but of course we're the most important. So at the end of the event, I just want to say, and I know Amy had said this too, we want to invite you to head down to the lobby. There's an incredible display of all the artists' work. They'll be there to meet and greet. Gives you a great opportunity to meet the nominees and a potential Oscar winner as of tomorrow. You know, it's fantastic. And one of the great things is, like, even though it's here today, it's the only place in the world you're going to see it is here. It will be this will be nowhere else in the world but here at the Academy Museum. So it's pretty incredible. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the symposium, right? All right. So there you go. We're not off stage yet, and we're not getting to all the real super fun stuff, but we are getting to fun stuff. So first off, I want to thank you guys for coming. It's really important, and we're really honored that you're all here, and there's so many of you. Wow, it's a good turnout. Good job, guys. Thanks. Linda will buy drinks for everybody that came today at Fanny's. It's just a one-drink minimum. The drinks are $45 each. You can either get free parking or a drink, either one. I'm kidding about that. Sorry, guys. So I want to just talk a little bit about the Makeup Symposium, because this event has been part of the Academy tradition for many years now, and it will continue for many more. The Makeup and Hairstyling Symposium was the brainchild of makeup artist and our very first governor, our branch governor, Leonard Engelman. Yay, Leonard. So Leonard had this idea, this crazy idea, to celebrate the accomplishments of those nominated each year in our category, and with a panel discussion, or as he named it, symposium. And even though this is Spotlight, we still call it symposium because that's what Leonard called it, as he named it. The first year the event was held was at the Hollywood Museum on Highland and Hollywood Boulevard. There was a healthy turnout, and the event started to really accelerate in popularity as the community looked forward to attending during Oscar season. So much so that the Academy approached Leonard to make it part of the Oscar programming for the season, which Leonard accepted, and the symposium was officially born as an Academy event. So it's pretty amazing. He took it upon himself and worked tirelessly, and here we are today at this amazing event. So as time went on, Leonard and fellow governors Lois Burwell, Bill Corso, and Kathy Blondell helped redefine the event to what it is today, which is an amazing celebration of makeup and hairstyling. It is now hosted at the Academy Museum for the Oscar Week celebrations. Obviously, you're all here. And it has become the largest Oscar Week event, yes, which is fantastic. So thank you for coming and supporting the panels at the Academy Museum here at the beautiful David Geffen Theater, which is probably the best theater in the universe. Now, this is the part I'm going to try not to choke up, okay? Sadly, Leonard passed away last year, but I still believe he is in the audience with us because that guy could never miss anything. So every screening, every event, every award show, celebration, Leonard and his beautiful wife, Esther, who joins us today, along with Leonard's entire magnificent family, would always be in attendance. Leonard never missed a chance to lift people in his community as high as they could, and celebrate their achievements. He was a great educator, leader, makeup artist, department head, husband, father, and friend. You could always give him a call about anything, and he'd answer, "Hey, guy, what's up?" Leonard was always available to everyone. Leonard had this wonderful sense of humor. He always had a big smile on his face. If you remember, Leonard was always smiling. He was serious about his work, but not serious at work. He was he always wanted to enjoy the experience, and was the first department head I knew to open up a margarita bar on the trailer on Fridays. That was Jerry's little ad there. He knew the hours were long and demanding, so why not have fun when on set? As a makeup artist, his credits and clients were many. He worked with Cher for 13 years, Stallone on numerous films, including Rocky IV, where he masterminded silicone prosthetics before they were a thing. He was very proud of that innovation. Leonard worked on Cat People, one of my faves, and Ghostbusters, another fave. Leonard was a triple threat, as he could do anything from straight makeup to beauty makeup to prosthetics to casualty makeup to facial hair. There was really nothing he could not do. He would show up with a small, compact makeup kit that had all the magic and magic tricks inside that he needed for the day's work required. He was a man who had a unique level of thinking above all his peers. He showed great respect to everyone and never treated anyone other than the way he wished to be treated. He was a shining example to all, as he had such a generous spirit, and he really did. As I mentioned earlier, Leonard was our first governor of our branch. He fought to get a branch established for makeup and hairstyling. He led the branch for 23 years as a governor. That's incredible. As well as becoming vice president of the Academy which was a huge accomplishment. I recall how happy he was and excited when he was being able to help serve the Academy even more than he had before. He loved the Academy and everything it stands for. It was such a part of his DNA. And I know how much time and effort he put into everything. His wife, Esther, knows more than anyone, as I'm sure she wanted to do a few more things on Saturday mornings other than work their life around branch meetings. So thank you, Esther, for being so patient, supportive, and loving with Leonard. Leonard will be greatly missed. Okay, this is the part where I tried to practice in my car and kept like getting choked up every time. There's a giant hole in the heart of the Academy without him. But we all take the lessons we have learned from him and think of him every day. We ask ourselves, what would Leonard do? I know I've done it. I'm like, what would Leonard do? Have a branch meeting. There you go. And that helps us move forward and keep his memory alive. We thank you, Leonard, for everything you have done for us and for this Academy. We will see you again soon, Guy. Thank you. All right. Now what we'd like to do is I'd like you guys to turn your eyes to the screen, and there's a little something here about Leonard that I think you'll like.
Hello, I'm Leonard Engelman. My name is Leonard Engelman.
Leonard Engelman.
I'm Leonard Engelman.
Welcome to the Makeup Artists and Hairstylists Symposium.
I would like to proudly welcome you to this event as the first makeup branch governor on the Board of Governors for the Motion Picture Academy.
Punch! Punch! Can't punch no more!
You look beautiful.
It's you.
Leonard has served many years as the governor of our branch.
He got his professional start in the 1960s, apprenticing under Universal's legendary makeup department.
The reason that the Academy gives Academy Awards is to honor and celebrate the art of motion picture. The Oscar exists because the founders believed that movies were not just a business and that people needed to be reminded of that. The Oscar exists to tell the world that filmmaking is an art and it's being practiced by some people in a very high level. The closest I've gotten to an Academy Award is standing next to this big guy. But what an honor to be the host of the annual Oscar-nominated Makeup Artists and Hairstylists Symposium.
Leonard's work has made this not only a terrific event to attend, just as a nominee, but he has made it fun and educational for all of us.
Thank you very much.
That was awesome, right? So we're going to now start the symposium, all right? This is going to be fun, everybody, and it's a great celebration. It's going to be easy peasy. We're going to welcome all of our nominees one by one as we get into the film. But the first film we're going to be looking at is the work from A Different Man. So let's have a look.
I mentioned this so that you have an idea of the road ahead. Not that it's news to you, but an alternative path has presented itself. A colleague of mine, Eugene Flexner, rather distinguished, is on the lookout for patients, a patient like you, for an experimental drug trial. This drug seems to have the potential to be words like heal and cure are anathema to folks in my profession, but to actually heal you, completely even. The implications are life-changing for you. I shouldn't overpromise anything because it's the first trial, I believe. Perhaps any potential risk is worth the potential reward. Something to think about.
All right, that was a cool clip. All right, we'd like to invite our nominees that are here from A Different Man. So we have Mike, Dave, and Crystal. Come on out, please. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Thanks. I know you guys have been busy. All right. All right, have a sit. Well, thank you for joining us. How wonderful is this, huh? Now, Mike, you brought somebody, right?
I did.
And why don't you invite them, okay?
Well, luckily, we have a special guest, which is Sebastian Stan.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much. It means a lot. So thank you, thank you. Well, actually, Sebastian, let me ask you before we get into these guys, all right? We've seen Mike talk his mouth off 100 times already on YouTube, so we're good. So, but
Hey.
First off, congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
It's fantastic and well earned. So, obviously, you work so closely with these three brilliant artists. You know, will you talk a little bit about the collaboration, but also as you're sitting in the chair, how it helps you start to develop every single day about turning into Edward?
Yeah, I remember this very clearly because I was mortified like for a good month before we started this. And, you know, everybody that I was asking was always saying there's just one person for this, and his name is Mike Marino, and that's who you have to find. And, you know, I called him up and kind of ran him through the script, and he was busy with another job, and he decided to come in. But obviously this is like a make or break, right? This makeup, this for the film, for the story, for what it asks for. It was crucial. And I think it wasn't until we finally tested at your studio the first time,
Right.
where I started to find all the physicality and kind of how to walk. And like, it's funny, we were doing these photos, and you started talking to me as Edward, and you were like, Edward, how are you feeling today? But, you know, and it was just a lot of that came alive for me from once we had everything applied. And again, I've said this story, but it's just massive, was massive for me and for the film that I was able to walk around New York City like that, and no one doubted that I didn't look like that, you know, and so it just made the whole character. It was, and from a collaboration standpoint, you know, you get to know these people so much. You know, you're there every day. It's like the trust level, and just starting the morning off and then ending with them, basically. You know, so whatever I was coming in with and feeling, like they were feeling, and you know, I just think it's so crucial to the overall, you know, result when you see it.
I mean, it's a partnership for sure. You know, we talk about that all the time. It's like, you know, Mike brings a certain, you know, and team, and Crystal and Dave to the table, and then, you know, you take it from there. So it's great. Mike, question for you. All right, so this condition is based on a real person, Adam Pearson, who's in the film. Were there specifics that you wanted to make sure to incorporate in the makeup so that it felt as realistic as possible?
Well, Adam Pearson is such an incredible person, by the way. I mean, doing this makeup, you know, you have to honor what this is and his appearance. It's not, you know, trying to make it monstrous or trying to make it, you know, having respect for his condition and for who he is as a person. Him being such an incredible actor, an incredible inspirational person, he really was cool with what we were doing. And it was Aaron Schimberg who wrote this script. It was so wild and so crazy and all of it. I mean, it's basically, I describe it like, okay, you have something like the Elephant Man, which was the same disease, neurofibromatosis, and then you have a David Lynch comedy in some way, you know, and the message through the film is so important. It goes into the deepest way of describing what this is all about, you know, in a time of plastic surgery and perfecting everybody's face. Everybody's trying to look like the filters from Instagram and all that. It just really shows what is inside. What's important is the soul and who the person is, you know. And this guy is such a jerk in the movie. He's not that cool. We don't really like him in the movie, you know. So when he becomes Guy. So it was crucial to look at Adam and to make sure that I was arriving at a place where it was a hybrid between what I knew would work for Sebastian's face, because the proportions have to work for him. He has to still be able to move it and all of those things. It's a balancing act. So it's not exactly like a derivative, a portrait of him. It's slightly derivative to make it work as a makeup, as a design for the movie. And then it peels off and all these pieces flake off and, it becomes, poltergeist at a certain point. And underneath that makeup is another makeup, which is a transitionary makeup. And only see it for a minute in the mirror, like a few seconds.
But just to give, honestly, some, I think, very deserved credit here to him. Like, this movie was shot in, like, 23 days, and a lot of that scene of the peeling and everything, like, was happening spontaneously with Aaron going and going, Mike, what can we do? Can we do this? And him improvising in the moment and coming in and being like, let's add this, let's peel that. It was a lot of, these guys had to really shift very quickly with, and, it's a lot of planning, and you can't just, so, yeah, and it was like, what about a face underneath the face? I think that was not even, you maybe had a week to come up with that?
Yeah. I think it was between us. It was like, it doesn't seem right that you're exactly you under it right away, because there's a transition of like flaking and scabbing and all that. So I think that was like, we created a problem for ourselves, like by wanting to, do another makeup under it. So we would have to do that makeup. We did that makeup. Well, first we did the normal look, and then we took the whole makeup off, and then we put on the underneath makeup and then glued a super soft version over that with like KY jelly and methicellulose, which is like the slime, basically.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, guys. No, it's great. Linda, did you want to ask David a question?
That was really interesting. Thank you. David, Edward was a unique and challenging character to actualize. Please share with the audience what made this experience so special. And what was that one thing that kept you up at night? When you go home and toss and turn and you're restless about it. What was that one thing?
Well, first of all, I think what was really special about the show is it's the people. It was Mike, it's Sebastian, and Crystal. I mean, without us working together as a team, this would have never happened. And also, as well as the DP and everyone else was so friendly, and so it was such a close-knit family. And it had to be, because there was no way we were going to get this done in 23 days. So, but what kept us up, or kept me up, is like when we found out we were going to transform Sebastian in the bathroom, and then on the couch we're like, how the hell are we going to do this? And we had like a few days to do it, and like, so we're just thinking like, oh, how? And then while Sebastian's shooting, I'm like, all right, how are we going to do this? So
it was luck.
It was a little bit of luck, and that's how it usually is on these kind of shows. It's like, all right, let's see if this works. Let's throw this against the wall.
I would say it's more than luck.
Yeah, well, also I guess
a lot
it's
of experience.
So it was a lot of experience. I mean, when we shot that scene in the bathroom, there was like it was not even a stage either. It was a real bathroom on the Upper West Side of New York City. And if you know New York City, the bathroom is the smallest bathroom you can ever think of. The sink is not even a full sink. You can't even get your hands in there. And, you can't even get your hands and you wash your face. But that being said, it did come together, and then we made it work. We were, it was a lot of fun.
You did. And congratulations to all of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Jerry, did you have a question for Crystal?
Crystal, I'm really struck by the fact that you guys had 22 days to make this movie, and it is ambitious and it looks beautiful. Were you able to pre-paint any of your prosthetics? Were you able to pre-work any of the hair? Anything that you could do ahead of time to just cut down on that schedule?
Yeah, we could do some of that, but really because of the nature of the timeline for this, we weren't able to have like a backlog of prosthetics that we could just like assembly line paint. We would get like one set the night before or the morning of. So what we would do is before Sebastian got there, Mike would start pre-painting the pieces. We would start prepping the pieces, cutting, trimming out what we need trimmed out beforehand. And really, at that point, everything else became really seamless between us doing a little bit of a dance of whenever we're prepping his skin, maybe somebody's off cutting little stencil pieces for the hair. Whenever they're doing the application, if there's a minute where somebody could step away, we might be gluing things on to the neck. It really has to be a seamless little dance between anticipating when you're needed and when you need to back out. And I think our team did a really good job of getting a feel of like being interchangeable in that regard. It's nobody's the star. It's just be where you're needed and know where you're needed and then go away when you're not needed.
And we did it in my apartment.
Yes, we did.
Well
You know,
done.
we basically had no makeup trailer because what we had was next to the bathroom, and that wasn't going to work for 4 people like next to in the honey wagon.
So so you did the makeup at your place and then traveled to set.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And he had time to walk around New York City because they weren't.
Which, by the way, he lived in Soho. So it's not even like, it was like the most populated, one of the most popular areas in New York City.
I love you guys. This is as hardcore as it gets.
Yeah, it is. It really shows that, what you have to do to make a movie, and you're going to do it no matter what, and you're going to find a way to do it, right?
Yeah, you got to adapt. That's the lesson to any burgeoning makeup artist out there. You have to adapt. It's always going to change. It's always going to be something that's wrong, something that's not working, but you have to adapt to it, and that's part of the job.
Well, listen, guys, thank you so much. Thanks to all
everyone.
of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your nominations.
Thank you.
So we'll see what happens, but it was great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
The next clip. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look. There we go. The next clip we're going to be looking at is from Emilia Perez. So let's have a look.
¿Qué quiere que haga?
Quiero ser una mujer.
No entiendo.
¿Qué no entiende?
Bueno, que quiere decir físicamente mujer.
Sí.
¿Quiere cambiar de vida o quiere cambiar de sexo?
¿Cuál es la diferencia?
Hi again. I feel like we just saw each other like a minute ago. All right. So that was from Emilia Perez, which is quite brilliant. And I'd like to introduce and welcome to the stage the nominees for this movie. We have Julia and Emmanuel and Jean-Christopher. Oh, come on out. Yes, I said your name. Yes, don't be afraid.
I didn't hear, sorry.
Yes.
Bit deaf.
S'il vous plaît.
Right.
On rechange.
There you go. And that's Nicholas, who's our interpreter. All right, let's begin. Hey, congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
No, thank
so
you.
much.
No, thank you. So, all right. You're up first, my friend. You, Jean. All right.
my God.
Yes, you. So I want to talk about, let's talk about what your biggest challenge was that you faced into turning Carla Sofia into her male character, okay? And let's talk a little bit about the different prosthetics and hair pieces and tattoos that she was wearing to create that character. What was the whole process that you went through?
Actually, we didn't do any computer images to find out how she would look like. We just did live cast sculpture. And after a few tests, because we started a year before filming to do first test, Jacques Audiard, director, wanted to reassure himself that she could play the 2 different parts of this character, Manitas, the bad guy, then Emilia. He was sure about Emilia, but didn't know if it was believable that Carla could play a man. So we did first test, and then we refined the sculptures. I maybe did 4 different sculptures for the nose and the cheeks to find what was the best look. For example, with Julia, we tested different scars on the face, and Jack get rid of them. But in the last sculpture of the nose, I added a little tiny one, like mine here, that you can't see sometime, and suddenly you see it. So I wanted to keep it more realistic as possible.
No, it's great. And I remember seeing the film, and like I've loved the sides of the face and the pock and all that stuff. I thought
I
worked really
must
well.
say, it comes from an Oscar winner film, this idea of bad, what do you say?
Yeah, just like pockmarked. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a character in Dick Tracy, like this, and I always wanted to do a character like this with this bad skin, so it was an occasion to go there, to go through.
So I mean, luckily that you were able to take her and transform her into a man. I think that the movie would be very different if that didn't work, right? So that you did your job. You did a fantastic job because was the director ever kind of on the fence, like not sure if that transformation was going to work? Oh.
La question. Sorry.
No, it's on, please.
Oh no! After the first test, he was really reassured because Carla is a great actress. When I had to choose, the clip for 7 minutes, so Manita's part was maybe the half of the clip. I had to go through the film and see, and I discovered really after seeing the film twice on the big screen, watching the little bits bit by bit, the work of directing her and what she does as an actress is, I thought it was amazing and discovered it when I had to choose the bits, Yeah. So, yeah, well.
Yeah. No, it's a very convincing transformation. Linda, did you have a question you wanted to ask?
First of all, congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
Emmanuel, you had to handle the hair for two very different characters, one masculine and one feminine. Would you share with the audience the conversations that you had with Carla Sofia and director Jacques Audiard about how to approach both characters, and what were your biggest challenges?
Sorry. Pour Emilia, on voulait une femme qui soit maternelle, qui soit douce. Et du coup, on a choisi des coiffures naturelles avec une couleur plus douce pour adoucir les traits un petit peu du personnage. Et pour Manitas, du coup, on est allé vraiment dans l'opposé. On a commencé par essayer des cheveux courts pour faire l'homme, des styles différents, mais on avait un côté qui faisait un autre goût, un peu trop Pablo Escobar. Et Jacques avait besoin d'un personnage beaucoup plus dark, beaucoup plus méchant. Et une fois, en retirant une perruque qu'on avait essayée, les cheveux de Carla étaient au naturel, et avec Julia, nous est venue très vite la référence de Jared Leto. Donc on a commencé à regarder comme ça avec des cheveux longs, mais on ne voulait pas que ça féminise le personnage. Donc on a texturisé la matière, on a alourdi la matière pour ne pas avoir des cheveux volants comme ça sur le set. Et
It just sounds better in French, doesn't it?
Sorry.
I love it. Would you
For
like to translate?
For Emilia, we wanted a woman who was maternal, gentle, warm, and so we chose natural hairstyles, a softer color to soften her features. Manitas, obviously, we needed the opposite. Initially, we tried a lot of short hairstyles, more masculine, but we found that there was something a little too Pablo Escobar about that. And what Jacques Audiard really needed was a darker, meaner character. And once, when we were taking off Carla Sofia's wig, we saw her natural hair, and very quickly, Julia and I came to this reference of Jared Leto. So we eventually used her long hair, but having to be careful not to feminize her through using the long hair, so we texturized it. We made the matter of the hair heavier so that it wouldn't fly around on the set?
Thank you. Et on aurait pu aussi avoir le parti pris de laisser les cheveux détachés et de se servir des cheveux pour camoufler certaines choses. Okay.
You're doing great.
Et j'ai pris le parti pris de faire tout le contraire, de mettre entièrement en valeur les implantations de Carla, voire même on a éclairci un petit peu les bordures pour repousser un peu l'arrière de l'implantation. Et le fait de tirer les cheveux, ça a donné un côté beaucoup plus dark, ça a mis en valeur tout le travail de Julia et de Jean-Christophe, parce que du coup, on n'avait plus de cheveux dans le visage, et je trouve que c'est ce qui marchait le mieux, ce qui mettait plus en valeur le travail des prothèses, et ce qui a donné ce côté au personnage beaucoup plus dur. Et voilà, moi, mon leitmotiv, ça a été vraiment de me servir de ce qu'elle avait et d'avoir quelque chose vraiment, de faire quelque chose vraiment de très simple, de rester hyper simple pour avoir ce personnage qui finalement est très très dur à l'image.
I also could have chosen to leave her hair loose, to camouflage certain things, but in fact I chose to go in the opposite direction and to really highlight Carla Sofia's extensions, to lighten, to show where the hair had been dyed at the roots and stuff, and that gave the character a darker edge, and I think really highlighted the work that Julia and Jean-Christophe had done. So ultimately, it was good to have no hair in her face to really underline the prosthetic work and give the character this harder edge. What I really followed throughout my work on her was using what Carla Sofia naturally had to go for something really simple while giving the character a hard edge.
Great.
Well, very
yeah,
nice.
That was great.
Very nice.
Jerry, do you have a question?
Julia, there are obvious things done to differentiate Manitas from Emilia Perez. There's the beautiful prosthetic nose, there's facial hair, there's some wonderful devices that you're using. I feel that Emilia Perez is one of the best photographed movies this year. It's a beautiful job of cinematography. And I'm curious, were you working with your director of photography, Paul Guillaume? Was he involved with you in the testing? Did you have the privilege of being on the ground floor with him as those lighting scheme was being developed?
Well, it's the second time that I'm working with Jacques Audiard and Paul Guillaume, so we knew each other already. And the first time we were really lucky to become working on Emilia months ago, years ago. So we had time to get to know Carla on my Sunday and stuff. The first time that I made up Carla as Emilia, Paul Guillaume came to do picture. And he could tell the first time that we worked together, it was a black and white movie, Les Olympiades. And I'm all about structure. I work a lot with structure and shadow. And so I could tell he was really reassured by even Emilia glowing, maternal, because Carla Sofia is really sexy and fierce, and we need to make her more intemporal woman. And so I think he trusts me, and he got so much to do. So he's a gentleman, he's really like soft, and we work together, but not talking every time together because he had so much to do. And thanks to the studio, the fact that we work in studio, it helped structure, it helped control the light a lot. So my structure would, eventually disappear. And the one on Manitas too, like it could melt, especially with Manitas because Manitas is always in the dark. So it could help to create this Marlon Brando, Apocalypse Now, sensation and stuff. I think it went well between all of us. And as Emmanuel said, with a beautiful prosthetic, we could let like the skin and some natural stuff to do not cover and disguised Carla to play this.
It was wonderfully effective.
Thank you so much.
And it's so beautifully staged. It's just like a fantastic, subtle magic trick.
Well, he is a great, great photographer, for sure, and a nice person.
Well, we want to thank you all for coming. We congratulations on the
Thank you.
nomination.
Thank you.
And yeah, just wonderful. And tomorrow, have a great time. All right, have fun at the Oscars.
We will.
all right? I know you will.
Absolutely.
We'll be there. We'll be with you.
And my mom is there, so.
Even better. Where's your mom? She's out there somewhere. All right. Well, thank you.
Mom.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So the next clip we're going to look at is from Nosferatu. Ooh. All right.
I was but an innocent child.
And thought you I would not return. Thought you I would not. Your passion is bound to me.
You cannot love.
I cannot. Yet I cannot be sated without you. Remember how once we were a moment. Remember.
I abhor you.
You are false! So you wish me to prove my enmity as well? I will leave you 3 nights. Tonight was the first. Tonight you denied yourself, and thereby you suffer me to vanish up the lives of those you love.
Denied myself. You revel in my torture.
Upon the 3rd night, you will submit, or he you call your husband shall perish by my hand.
No!
Till you bid me come, shall you watch the world become as naught.
No!
That was fantastic. It's amazing that almost was a Disney Plus animated series. So next, what we'd like to do is invite our nominees. We have David and Suzanne today. Come on out. Unfortunately, Tracy's a little under the weather. She woke up and had 2 bite marks on her neck and didn't want to come out. So, but welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to have you here and see you here. Fantastic movie. It's a classic horror movie now. I think we can definitely say it's, going to be there forever and ever and ever. So
amazing to be a part of that.
yeah, I'm sure. So, in matter of fact, David, I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, not about the moustache.
What's that? Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the inspiration for the look of the makeup, because it's very specific and very unique for Count Orlok. And when you were designing it, how much input and what was the collaboration between you and Robert, your director, and also Bill? Or did Bill come on later after the design sense? Or what?
Yeah, I mean, I was working with Bill on another show, which allowed me to kind of show him where we were going with it. And he had his kind of input. He was interested because he kind of wanted to make sure that it had a kind of a dark romantic vibe to it in terms of what we could deliver. Because he has to work with Lily. It's and it's very true. It's not so much a monster. This is a guy. So that was, Bill's contribution at the earlier stage. With Robert, it was much more intense, a kind of collaboration. Before I read the script, we had a conversation, and I was like a really keen sort of makeup puppy going, are we going to transform? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? No, it's one makeup. It travels from one end to the other end of the show. So that was the interesting thing, because then we had to kind of figure out how we were going to show that and make it interestingly different as it third from one beginning to the end of the show. But Robert always gives these wonderful boards, you know, these kind of mood boards. They're not just like random mood boards. They're very, very intricate, and he's very careful about what he hands over. And they're inspiring, and they're kind of, you know, all sorts of illustrations from 18th century noblemen, you know, in beautiful sort of line drawings and things. And all these things are really inspiring. And, you know, we noticed that obviously they had moustaches and they had forelocks and, you know, very Cossack inspired. So that was really, really helpful. And he had a painting that he had done about 12 years ago that was also in there. And it had this lovely tonal quality to it, very moody. It had exactly the right vibe. So all this is taken into account, and then we move forward with the sculpts, you know, which, to be honest, is more about Bill, because everything changes once you get to Bill, you know. And I started, you know, trying to work it out and sculpt things that were minimalist, but he's so young and good looking, you know, it's just not going to work. You know, we had to kind of, it had to cover him. There was no way around it. But yeah, and then we move forward, we present things to Robert, and he has his input. You know, I need some damage and some decay, but not too far forward, because I want to be able to have the shadows coming out of the shadows, but get away with the fact that he's still not, you know, he just wants to hold back on the real gore factor of this, you know. So that's kind of how.
But also, I think the way that the film was shot, and you know, it's because sometimes when we do movies like this, we like to have progressions, like, oh, we give the audience more and more. But I felt the way the film was shot and the way that Orlok is presented, we don't see a lot, and then it just kind of he reveals and reveals until the end, and you're like, oh wow, look at that.
He's teasing us.
Very much so. Very much so. And I like the whole nobleman concept that, you know, you look at him, especially it's when I saw the film and with the hair, the way his hair is, I was like, that's really cool. So at some point, he was a well-coiffed guy.
Absolutely, and he's kind of a really good-looking guy. You can kind of see it under there. There's some sort of, you know, there's a few shots where the light's kind of clipping the edges of his face, and you can kind of see where he's coming from. He's a real classy guy in his time.
In his time, yeah. Linda, do you have any questions? Or Jerry, would you like to ask a question?
I have seen Nosferatu in a big, state-of-the-art movie theater, and I cannot help but wonder. You have these wonderful beauty makeups throughout the show, beautiful, beautiful people, wonderfully finished, and at times they are covered in blood. And my question for anybody in our audience that has never been on an active movie set, there's very often take one, take two, take three. And I understand a lot of the scenes in Nosferatu were shot from beginning to, they were done in one take, which meant at the end of the sequence, you've got to clean your actor up, you've got to get all the blood and muck off of them, and start with them being perfect and beautiful once again. Did you take any precaution? Was there any special technique that you used to keep the blood from staining these beautiful people and helping you in the cleanup process?
So this is Tracy's answer, because I'm afraid she can't be with us.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
And she says, for me, the key to achieving that delicate, timeless beauty while incorporate blood work is careful skin prep. Absolutely, I swear by barrier cream, and it helps protect the actor's skin while ensuring easy cleanup. And I'd say that too, that you have to know your medium, because if you shoot like that it's one setup, one take, but maybe 27 times for 5 hours. You've got to know how to take it off and how to get it back to the beginning. So you need the end. You know what's going to happen in the end, so you know how to get back to the beginning. And Tracy did it beautifully. And that skin was not stained ever. It was gorgeous. What else does she say? Yes, she also considers the type of blood used, opting for formulas that won't stain as much as possible, unlike some of David's.
Is that nice?
To say that. And she removes it properly in between takes. I mean, really properly, which means applying the makeup again. So it's also speed. But her makeup is so delicate and so fine. And she's pretty quick. And she just maintains the integrity throughout the shoot. So that was Tracy.
Very effective. I have such appreciation because it was never compromised. Those close-ups, everything just holds up so well, and you know it was tough.
Thank you.
Susan, let's talk about the hair a little bit, because this was a huge period movie, and as we all know, when you do a period movie, everybody has to go through hair because it tells you the time frame. Would you walk us through what your biggest days were like, and how many hairstylists you had to hire for those big days, and how many wigs did you use for the main cast and your background?
Right, so background first. I had a great supervisor for the crowd, Vladka, and every single person went through. Every single person, and they were photographed, and I would look at the photographs, and I'd discuss it with Robert, and we'd make alterations, and so everybody was fitted. I had a workroom, so the wigs came from England, Germany, Italy, like a mixture, but not that many, a couple of hundred. I usually have
Just a couple hundred.
I usually have about 100 of my own in my back pocket and a load of hair pieces. But the reason I always set up my own wig room, because that's where I come from, and we sort out, we rework everything, we can add things, change them, so to adapt to what crowd we've got and what we need. The biggest days were probably the sepsis day, wasn't it? Now, in the Czech Republic, they are very well trained in hair and makeup, very well trained. So I guess it's the biggest crowd they ever had, call they ever had, and they had 42 hair and makeup people and
It takes
prosthetics,
that.
which is great. And they were coming from everywhere, and they're excellent.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Excellent.
Absolutely brilliant.
But normally day to day it was like 20, 25.
It must have been so fun to meet all those hair.
Oh no,
dresses from
it's
everywhere.
I find it a privilege because there's things I can learn from different ways of working. So it's good for me, and yes. So getting back to the main artist. Sorry, main artist. So Lily had 2 wigs, one up, one down. It became the joke because I'd have to do the schedule. I'd have to help reschedule because obviously when Lily's lying in the bed for 7 hours.
Yeah.
With David's blood.
Oh, you're never going to forgive me, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to.
You're never going to forgive me.
It took 6 hours to wash it out because it had solidified. So yes, I had to do quite a lot of scheduling to make sure we could make our days. So she had 2, Emma had 2. We're very minimal, really. Waste not, want not, I say.
It's all the background, because everybody has to go through the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, if you use too much stuff, you forget what you're using. So, so Willem has one. Simon McBurney, because I've worked with him before, I managed to talk him into having his head shaved badly. So he has that for the last bit, and he wears a wig for the first, and he wore a beanie hat for months.
Well, that's a lot of hair.
It is. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on your nomination.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Fantastic. It's been wonderful watching this movie, getting to see it on the big screen, which was wonderful. And have fun tomorrow at the Oscars, guys.
We will. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for being here.
The next film we're going to look at is a clip from The Substance, and just to give the heads up, it's a little hardcore, so just be aware, a little discretionary, what have you. If you have children, you might want to do this. So if you're a little queasy at heart, you might want to do that too. All right, so The Substance, everyone.
guess?
It's 5:03. I want to stop.
Are you sure? Once you stop, you can't go back.
I want to stop. I want to fucking stop. I want to stop.
We'll deliver.
You know, there's at Fanny's, there's like drinks that they made specifically for the movies for Best Picture. So if you go down there, get the substance. It's crazy, and they like inject stuff into it. It's awesome.
It's a thing, yeah.
It is a thing. It's true. Next, we'd like to introduce the nominees for this movie, for the makeup and hair for this film. Pierre, Stephanie, and Marilyn. Please come and join us. Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming and visiting.
Thank you.
Hey, Pierre, I heard you had somebody here. Somebody's visiting, right? Someone's going to come and talk a little bit about this movie. Is that so?
I do. We have our director, Coralie Farja.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. This is so special.
Thank you. I'm super happy to be here with the team and to meet this amazing room. So thank you for the invitation.
No, thank you. I know you're kind of busy right now, so we really appreciate it. I think you're up for 2 Oscars, right, and a whole bunch of other things. So, and it's been quite amazing. So, congratulations. So, actually, I wanted to ask you a question first to kick it off. So, you know, watching this film and being a makeup effects guy, I'm like, oh, she digs makeup effects and she likes blood and guts. So will you talk a little bit about, you know, what your inspirations were for the film? You know, again, being an avid cinephile, I was like, oh, I know, okay, that was the influence. But will you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it's true that from the very beginning of the writing, one thing that I knew is that I wanted to make all the effect for real with practical makeup, because the movie is really about flesh and bones, about our bodies, you know, what we feel, and to be able to touch things, you know, to film things for real with a real relationship with the camera and the prosthetic changes so much the energy, you know, that goes on screen. And it's true that in movies that deeply impacted me and that had a huge place in my mood board when I was starting to write the film, were movies where those makeups had such a powerful place, such as The Fly from Cronenberg, such as The Thing from Carpenter, such as also Requiem for a Dream, and so many others. And I remember when we met with Pierre-Olivier and the team, we immediately discussed about those references. And I remember that from the very beginning of prep, I had like, we searched for nicknames to name all the effects because there were so many that we needed to have some simple code, you know? So the one you saw in the extract was Gollum. And we had also when Demi starts to age with the hair, gray hair, and half of the face age, it was Requiem from Requiem, you know, for a Dream.
Had a gremlin.
Exactly, we had a gremlin at
Even
the
though
very
there's
end.
no gremlin in the movie.
We had the Blob, of course.
Le Blob.
Le Blob. And so, yeah, so we were, I think, like kids, you know, kind of connecting with the movies that we adored and that kind of think shaped our cinema taste. And we made them our own way. So that was, yeah, kind of magic.
Yeah, it's great. And those are all fantastic movies. Those are the staple of the world of horror. And at the end of the film, there's so much blood. How much blood did you use? Do you know how much blood you used?
Yeah, so in I know in liters, it's
Sure, liters is fine.
21,000 liters.
4,000 gallons.
4,000
4,000
Wow.
gallons. So the SFX artist who did the blood, Jean Miel, had to find a system and work with us to know how we were going to be able to project that amount of blood through Monstro. And how we were going to evacuate all that blood, So it was until the very end, the very moment where we shot that, we kept experimenting and worked all together to know how we were going to be able to do that.
Sure. And did you ever get a chance to spray the blood yourself?
Oh, yes.
Good job, good job. So, of course, you have to get your hands into it, so it's the best thing. So, Pierre, I've got a question for you. So let's talk a little bit about the different stages you had on Demi, when she's aging, and did you have a favorite? Is there a favorite stage that you like?
We had three main stages. It starts with just one weird finger, and that was really important, even though it looks like, we have the finger, and then we have the Requiem stage, which is half of the face, aging, and a hunchback, one leg, really unbalanced, one arm, and then we have Gollum. And I think it's easier to cover the whole body and to do something. The Gollum makeup was easier in a way to do than just one finger or half of the face, because you can. We knew that the audience will be able to compare the other fingers, because obviously we all know that when you apply a prosthetic, you are building up, and when the old finger is supposed to look gnarly and all small and creepy, it's not supposed to look like a funny big sausage, and it can look very easily like that. So try to use small tricks like to extend the last digit and to twist it a little bit, or just to give some kind of a twist to the prosthetic, rather than building up too much and use highlights and shadows. And same for the half of the face, old age makeup. It can look very easily like a makeup from makeup school, and there's nothing wrong with that, but not on Demi Moore. And so we were quite concerned with that. And also, we had lots of discussions with Coralie, not to how much can we reveal to the audience without spoiling what's going to happen next. And should we go crazy with that stage? And also to be able to use here and there fake legs. We built a couple of fake legs in sitting position and standing up position, so we were able to really dig into the leg and really have that, for instance, in the shower scene, that panning shot. And then we finish with the Gollum, which is full body makeup. I have to say that for Gollum, we had Demi, of course, wearing the makeup, but we also had a very skinny actress. And so sometimes within the same sequence, we have the reverse shot on a very skinny actress, almost like a spider crawling on the wall. And then we have the front shots on Demi and going on and on like that.
Thank you very much. Jerry or Linda, do you have a question you'd like to ask? Jerry?
I am so impressed that you got Demi Moore to sit through that process. And the thing I kept asking myself as I watched your movie, which really messed me up, I have to say. Did you have to take any special precaution with the lady's skin? There are points in the movie where she is probably wearing the most elaborate character makeup that's ever been conceived in motion pictures. And obviously she got through it okay. Was that a special challenge? If either of you can give me some insight.
Or Stephanie, can you give some
insight?
insight?
Yeah, Stephanie, let's start with you.
For my part, with the beauty makeup, there are scenes where she removed the makeup or very harsh on herself. So we have preps stuff. Of course, the skin will prep before, but during the process, she has like pads, special pads that she can help her remove the stuff without hurting herself. And also after that, because we have to redo the scene, we have hot cloth that she can use to smooth the skin a little bit. And after that, it was under the prosthetic. So Pop is going to talk you about this.
Was there any special effort made to protect her from the prosthetics and from the heavy makeup, or maybe it was just a case of being extremely careful?
Yeah, we applied a derma shield really to put a barrier on the skin first. I'm not that keen also on strong astringent. When they are too strong, sometimes they are a bit in the morning. They are so we try to find a nice astringent and a nice barrier on the skin, and then makeup removal is essential too. Proclean,
Proclean was
I
a
use
big
that
product
a lot.
for this.
Yeah, and also hot towels and a very nice cream. But take the time it needs to really.
I think you hit it on the head. Take the time, and it certainly paid off. You came up with something remarkable.
And sorry.
No, but I must say
the shooting
also
schedule,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, the shooting schedule was a massive thing. We had work around the prosthetic to have that time because we knew that this is so time consuming. And I must say also that Demi was extremely patient. One of the first conversations we had, you told me, with an actor, you never know how they're going to react with prosthetics. They can either be totally fine with it or just hate it. Even if they think they're going to like it, they're going to reject it. And I remember the first time we went for the first test with Demi, you felt that she was going to really go for the process and have the patience to... For her, it was building her character, I think, those hours in the chair somehow.
That's a wonderful insight. I can see where that would work.
Marilyn, I have a question for you. Would you share with us your journey with Demi Moore's characters, looks, plural? And would you talk about her transformation and her journey through her transformation?
Yes, Demi was very attentive and meticulous in prepare her hair when she started the age. She was a great help in finding to write a solution and was very generous. Working with difficulty in hiding Demi's long hair, very long hair for the Requiem wig. Pierre-Olivier Persin, she helped me for create this look. And the technique was to make a small ponytail for very flat on the head before fix the wig. Sorry.
You're doing great.
Yeah. And for the Gollum mood is another technique, very loose braid, very long at the back, and before the team special effect with Pierre-Olivier Persin to prepare the Gollum for Demi.
Yeah, it's always challenging to put that much hair in a wig because hair is very long.
Yeah, it's very long hair. Yes.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Hiding is as much worth as creating.
Yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on all your nominations. It's going to be great. We're all looking forward to seeing you at the Oscars tomorrow. It's going to be a blast. But congratulations to everything. So job well done, guys. Yes. All right, we got one more to go. So next up, we're going to look at a clip from Wicked, and then we're going to come out and sing. Jerry and I are going to sing Defying Gravity. So I hope you enjoy that. It's a sing-along, so we can, help us out a little bit. But enjoy the clip from Wicked, everyone.
What? What are you staring at? Do I have something in my teeth?
No, it's just... You're green.
I am. Fine. Let's get this over with. No, I am not seasick. No, I did not eat grass as a child. And yes, I've always been green.
Well, I, for one, am so sorry that you have been forced to live with this.
Is that so?
Yes. And it is my intention to major in sorcery. So if at some point you wanted to address the problem, perhaps I could help.
She's so good.
We love you.
All right. That's such a fun movie, isn't it? All right. This is our last film we're looking at. And I'd like to invite our nominees. I want to invite Frances, Laura, and Sarah.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, it's so good to see you. Yes, thank you.
I've seen you all day.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't seen each other all day. This is great. All right. Well, welcome and congratulations. This is fantastic. It's a wonderful movie. I will admit now, since the Oscars are tomorrow, I saw it 4 times in the movie theater, and I loved every second. So, and I listened to it on the car when I drive nonstop. So I could sing Defying Gravity, but I'm not going to ruin that. Hey, before we start, Frances, you have a special guest, don't you?
I've Elphaba.
Look, Elphaba.
In a little green nappy.
There's Elphaba, everybody. Very nice.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, we tried, okay, everybody? Jerry, why don't you kick it off?
I'm happy to say I've worked with Frances, and what a pleasure to see you recognized again here at the Motion Picture Academy. It's wonderful. I have to ask, how long did it take to come up with the perfect green for Elphaba? Not only did it look beautiful, I mean, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. It had to be durable. It had to be practical to work with. It had to be non-transferable. How long was that in development? Can you share on that at all?
It was actually a really short development time, which is surprising because we had to get that out of the way, know that Cynthia would be happy, and she was coming in something like 6 weeks after I started. So we used to get a model in. I think we had roughly 3 weeks, so 15 days of models, and we'd do the model twice a day in different colors. But it was it was the medium that the color was. We got the green fairly quick on the skin tone, but we couldn't get it to work in every light. And it was when we found that the best base was a fluorescent medium to mix it in, that it looked real in every light. So you can often see there's a lot of yellow showing because it's a yellow fluorescent. And that is actually what made it work. Plus all the work on top, of course, all the beauty work that you do normally, the little freckles for her youthful look and fading them off as she got older and everything. But that was about it. But then we would do roughly 6 or 8 Elphabas a day because, Cynthia wouldn't have stunt people or doubles, but we had to get them all ready for everything to be lined up on and practice on, and because Alice, our DP, always wanted the exact look for every moment of the day on everybody else. So
I'd love to throw some love at the gentleman that helped manufacture Elphaba's makeup once it was decided upon. Could you talk about him?
David Stoneman, of course, from the makeup company. He works with all of us and has done for years, and I know his products are throughout the world. But it was, when we got the green, he made up the bespoke green for me afterwards. And then once I found the little product, which was a discontinued one from Canada, David ran with that and put just 3 drops of fluorescence into the bottle, yellow fluorescent, and it worked perfectly. And he also created the wonderful makeup for our iridescent blue horse.
Oh gosh, yes, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
And that horse fell into your world as well, correct?
Yeah, we had the horse. We did 3 horses every time the horse appeared because there was Jonathan Bailey's Jack, who he loved, and we had 2 spares. One was a good stunt one, and one was a good poser. So we shaved them all to match them. One was white, one was grey, and one was brown. So every horse was shaved, every horse was dyed black, every mane and tail had extensions in, and then we painted it the iridescent blue that John chose. The blue, we've researched it. He chose the actual blue he loved, and then we found the base to put it in, which was something called a pig oil, but it's not made from pigs, and it is used for shining horses' hooves. And it looked magnificent.
Wow. Yeah, see, it goes beyond human beings at times, right? So, Laura, I've got a question for you. Okay, so I'm curious, there's such a huge number of supporting actors in this film. What did it take every day? What was the day-to-day in terms of getting everybody ready? Because obviously everyone's going to go through hair and makeup. No one's come as cast on this film. And how many different types of characters? Because we have people in Emerald City, and then we have the Munchkins and so forth.
Well, I think when Francis and I first started to discuss the crowd for the film, we knew we had to really carefully craft the look of each township in Oz. And John Chu had expressed a desire for us to really capture the grandeur of old Hollywood. So it needed to be bold, stylized, and innovative, but it also needed to be quite timeless and authentic as well. So we had Munchkins, we had the Emerald City, and with Emerald City we had Wizardmania, we had Ozdust, we had Shiz, is there any more? Gillikens, Winkies, yeah, there was a vast number of them. And I think for Emerald City especially, I think we had over 3,500 wigs. Obviously for Crowd World as well, we don't have bespoke wigs made for all of them because sometimes they're cast the day before or sometimes even on the morning of if we've got dropouts. So we sourced a lot of acrylic wigs from around the world. We stripped them right back by boiling them, which takes off the coating from them, and then we could add the curl pattern, the texture of hair that we wanted. We coloured them a range of different colours. I think for the Munchkins we had nearly 500 wigs that we stripped back, dyed red. We rick-racked them, permed them. So it was, and I think at points we had 140 artists, juniors and trainees. And I think, our call times were long, weren't they? But the women, I think, especially the more sort of statuesque wigs as well, because obviously a lot of them were dancers, so we had to make sure that they were really well secured. So we sometimes around 45 minutes to an hour to get the ladies ready. 15 minutes, possibly half an hour for the men. So.
Did you have, were there giant tent cities essentially that you worked at the studio in order to house all those makeup people and
big
get
marquees.
actors through?
We had very big, large marquees.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I would figure so. Huge, right? Yeah, crazy. Wow, that's incredible. Between this film and the last film, Nosferatu, so many wigs. I wonder if did you ever find a point where you're like, we can't get any more wigs, like everything's rented out?
No, you can always find more wigs.
All right, there you go. I know there's plenty of places in the UK to find wigs. Absolutely.
We went all over the world for wigs. Japan and everything. It wasn't just UK.
Got it.
Congratulations, ladies. And I wanted to say, as a hair person, I was totally geeked out at your station. Looking at all those beautiful wigs, they truly look like pieces of art. And I know how much work went behind those. So congratulations on that. I know some of the questions I was going to ask you've already answered. So I just kind of want to know what was your inspiration for some of those wigs and elaborate hairstyles? Like what inspired you? Or what did you wake up and go, I want to do a tower?
I can talk about Maribel's wig. The inspiration behind her wig was her magical powers. So Francis brought some amazing inspiration to the table. We didn't want it to be of any particular time, wanted it to be timeless. And yeah, her magical powers and ability to control the weather was a real inspiration to have the wig looking like the beginning of the wind is just holding it in place. And then as the character has a journey into sort of a more wicked character, it would become more of a storm and even turns into a tornado towards the her journey through the story.
Amazing, just amazing, amazing work all the way around. Congratulations, ladies.
Was there a specific Francis? Was there a specific character that you favored the most, or you love them all? They're all your children.
No, there's always favourites, aren't there?
There are.
Within my crowd room, we took inspiration from buildings and from nature hugely, but from everything. But one of my favourites was one that we've actually got on the table. It's a very clean black design, and I called it the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And my favourite within my principles was my Madame Marble, the weather. But I love the micro braiding, and I love Ariana's beautiful, simple look, but really, there's a couple of outstanders there.
Yeah, and I take it I know it was a very long shoot, and you shot 2 films back to back. Did you have fun?
Loved it. Best design project anybody could ever have been gifted with, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the creativity was just endless. And you never get that opportunity just to do whatever you want. The sort of world is your oyster of take it any which way, push it further, push it further. You never get those notes. It's so nice.
I think it's nice that, I mean, it's a job that when somebody says to you, there are no rules, you can do whatever you want. So we did.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, we want to thank you so much. Congratulations. Job well done. Excellent job. And, it'll be great, and we're going to see you guys at the Academy Awards tomorrow, which is great, and hopefully everybody else will tune in and watch the Academy Awards. So, guys, everybody, don't leave yet. I got a couple things to say. Where are you guys people going up there? First off, before people run out, so I was incorrect in terms of the ticket you purchased for this gets you into the museum. I lied, okay? There,
got
you
your
happy? And so it does not. But here's an idea. You can buy a ticket, or better yet, become a member. And then you get free tickets to the museum and to the screenings and all that. It's incredible. I highly recommend becoming a member. Also, make sure to tune in tomorrow night, 4 p.m. our time, Pacific Standard Time, on ABC, or you can watch it on Hulu. It'll be streamed live to watch the Academy Awards, the 97th Academy Awards at the Dolby Theater at Ovation in Hollywood. And it's going to be great. And remember, go downstairs, go to the lobby. You're going to get to meet all these magnificent people and see what they brought, all their magic tricks and all their amazing work and things, and ask them questions and take photos, and just don't touch anything. And
yes.
And if you get thirsty or hungry, go over to Fanny's, because it's always great, and go hit the museum store, because there's tons of cool stuff to buy there. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a great time today, and we'll see you at the movies.
Thank you for being here.